Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's regular session of the Vicksburg Village Council. It's Monday, August 21st, 2023. We'll call this meeting to order. And if you would all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just take a moment of silence, and if you would just recognize the passing of a longtime village resident, Evelyn Brockway. Rick Holmes's mother passed away on the 17th. So if you just keep her in your hearts and prayers, we appreciate the family. And if you would, Kristen, please do a roll call.
Trustee Olson,
Here.
Trustee Wagner,
Here.
Trustee Reister,
Here.
Trustee Holmes, Trustee Fields,
Here.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Here.
President Frisbee.
Here. We have a quorum. So we have an agenda in front of us. Jim, was there any changes or additions that you'd like to?
I would add under public official, our county commissioner, Wendy Mazer, is in attendance. So if she had something certainly to say about the county there under agenda item 7.
All right. If any other trustees have any additions or changes, hearing none, we have an agenda in front of us. Entertain a motion to approve.
Move as amended.
Motion made by Trustee Keller,
Second.
second by Trustee Fields. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? We have an agenda in front of us. Thank you. So we do have a special guest tonight, special appearance. This is in recognitions and thanks to Alicia Siebers, the director of the Vicksburg Cultural Arts Center. So Mrs. Siebers has accepted a new position, and having talked with her, I'm pretty excited for her as well. We're gonna miss you, but that's gonna be a phenomenal opportunity for you. So good luck, and I think Jim would like to say something in that regards. Thanks.
Yeah, I think it's an important couple. I think our last meeting, we also did some recognition to recognize citizens who've had quite an impact on our community. So Alicia, if you want to come on up here a second. Well, again, Alicia started over 2 years ago with the Vicksburg Cultural Arts Center. And under her direction and leadership, the programming for youth, and we've seen that positive impact. We've seen different murals put up in town. We've certainly had comments from our citizens and interactions with people we represent on an area of positivity that I certainly haven't given enough credit in the past and should, and I feel it's important. When we first talked about the events on Wednesday night and doing the weekly events, Alicia was part of that group and took on the leadership role for the hands-on arts and crafts activity each week. And we've seen the art and the diversity within the art, as well as the hands-on activities. So we felt it was important to come in front of the council and just publicly acknowledge what a wonderful job you've done the last 2 years. Have a wonderful opportunity with Kalamazoo Valley Community College, so we certainly support you in that endeavor. And then just asked if you have a few words maybe to talk about the last 2 years and some of the programming and how you've impacted Vicksburg, and then if the council members have a comment. So on behalf of me and my staff, thank you. And thank you so much. What a wonderful summer this has been, and to see all the different smiles generated on that corner of Main and Prairie Street, and the credit goes out to you. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. What a wonderful job this has been. Who else gets to do so many fun things that I've gotten to do over the last 2 years? I don't have a lot of comments to make, but I had a really interesting position being in my role because I got to work with so many people from Vicksburg. I mean, my job was kind of an ambassador for the arts, but I got to sit in on all kinds of committees and help plan things with people from all different walks of life in Vicksburg. And everything that we do in the program is fueled by volunteer power. So, for example, I just calculated the numbers for our kids camp that we offer, that's for 2 weeks. Over 600 hours of volunteer work goes into running those camps so that we can keep the cost low, so that no one has to pay for labor. They just, when they pay their camp fees, they pay for some teachers and art supplies, but all the labor is covered thanks to so many volunteers. And that's what I wanted to tell all of you that I noticed over these last 2 years is the heart of the people in Vicksburg, how generous they are, how many people volunteer in so many different capacities throughout the community. And it's not just 1 or 2 people doing everything, it's a lot of people joining together to do the work. And how much this village cares about their kids and their youth and the efforts that they go into to make sure that they have really great experiences. So I just wanted to let you know that I came to Vicksburg looking for a job, but I'm leaving with a family. And so it's been such a wonderful experience to meet everyone and to be welcomed into the community. And I'm very grateful for the village's support of the arts, because when we experience these kinds of art things, what's most important is that everyone is sharing the experience together. It's an opportunity for people to be able to talk about a shared experience, and it bonds the community together. It doesn't even matter what kind of creative work is happening. What's important is that people are being united together by that shared experience. So thank you for supporting that and helping Vicksburg be such a vibrant place to live. So I will miss you guys, but thank you so much for this honor. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Hey?
Thank you. All right, I think my husband and I are going to go to Cold Stone now.
Well deserved.
Well, stay for the fun, do you?
I do have a comment, okay,
Yeah.
before you leave, Alicia. I remember when Sid talked to me about hiring you, and she said, she'd like to meet with all of the people. I said, oh, I'd love to do that. And when I met you, immediately you give off this air of confidence and enthusiasm. And I am just so happy for you, but very sad for us, because you brought so much vibrancy to the arts, and I'm so grateful to you for that.
Well, and they're looking now for a new director, and it looks like there's a lot of really great candidates. So hopefully they will find somebody with the same amount of energy that can just keep things going.
I'm not sure that's going to be.
Just
wanted you to know that.
Thank
Very
you.
much appreciated.
I loved working with you too.
Thank
I
you.
will miss you guys.
Sid put together an awesome, the computer generated all your pictures, the images, and the kids. That was really, really, really cool. But when we first met you, you didn't tell us what you were going to do. You asked each and every one of us what our vision was, what we wanted to see, and that was very appreciated.
Yeah, because the arts are just a reflection of what do you want for the community and as a whole. It's a way to bring different groups together that might not normally, or to help a village feel more dynamic, or whatever your dream is. The arts are a way to accomplish it. So it's important to start with the big picture question of what do you want? Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. It was fun.
Cold Stone, your excuse.
Let the party begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Stevers is leaving the building. Good night. Thank you. That was awesome. She's just fun. So we have no scheduled appearances, but we have Commissioner Mazer with us tonight. Is there anything you would like to, if you would, please? Yeah? Right up here, if you would, please.
Everyone, nice to see you. Just 2 highlights from last week's meeting. The resolution to elect Kalamazoo County Road Commissioners failed, so that will still be appointed by the County Commission. And then also, we've been informed that there will be a delay in the opening of the Justice Center. It was supposed to be in October, and it's going to be December 4th. And the developer said it was due to manpower availability, which we're all seeing today. So anyway, that's basically what I have for you tonight. So,
Thank you so much.
you.
And Commissioner Mather did share with me that she's got some scheduled events on Mondays, but if we ever want to have her, she'd be glad to come and speak to us. And as I said, John would send me emails once in a while if there was something he wanted to put out and couldn't make it. So feel free. Thank you. We have citizens' comments for agenda items only. Seeing none, we'll move on. And we have our approval of general consent agenda, which includes our minutes of our regular council meeting, July 17, 2023, warrant reports in a total of $1,244,116.71. Event request for the Village District Library, Clark Park, Mondays of August reading program between 10 a.m. and 10:45. And the Distant Whistle Brew House anniversary portion municipal lot behind the brewery barricades, picnic tables and such, all approved by staff. So we have that. Everyone had an opportunity to review it. Was there any corrections or comments on the minutes?
If I could, President Frisbee, people hearing that number might wonder how $1.2 million was spent. Big ticket items were, again, the construction of the municipal building is a cash endeavor. That was $285,000. The repaving of Highway Street, which was a village project, was 260-some thousand. And then a payment to the USDA for the infrastructure project from 2021 was another $285,000. That is what all collided on the same warrant report. So.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that clarity, Jim. I look at them and I sign them and I understand what they are, so conveying that to the public is very good. Thank you. Any other comments by trustees? If not,
Move to approve. Trustee Wagner, I support.
Motion made by trustee Keller, support by trustee Wagner. We'll do a roll call, please. Christian?
Trustee Fields,
Yes.
Trustee Reister,
Yes.
Trustee Olson,
Yes.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller,
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Thank you so much. We're at council action items. We have one in front of us, two of them in front of us for the MERS Defined Benefit Plan Adoption Agreement 1 and Agreement 2. And I'll let Jim.
Yeah, both of these are what I would call housekeeping to ensure our historical paperwork actually reflects the defined pension program. And you can see under the agreement one, these agreements, we started to look at the historical documentation earlier this spring when Randy Skippers approached me about his anticipated retirement and to help facilitate what that final average compensation would be. And there became questions in MERS, and we solicited the legal advice of Miller Canfield with Brian Gallagher, who specializes in the area of pensions, to ensure that we had the proper adoption agreement and paperwork that met the expectations. Basically what it was, it involves the final average compensation, and we no longer, for Vicksburg employees, and it's our police department now, is the base pay does not include overtime. So it's just cleaning up that and having the documentation with MERS based on, again, the legal, and that's who put this together was Brian over at Miller Canfield. So staff is recommending support, motion, and approval of both agreements. And the only difference between the two agreements are the time periods that are listed out in the summary.
President Frisbee,
Yes, sir.
I move to approve the MERS Defined Pension Plan Adoption Agreement Number 1. This would goes from a period of January 1st, 2021 to March 31st of 2023.
We have support.
Support.
Motion made by trustee Keller, support by trustee Reister. We do a roll call, please, Christian?
Trustee
Any,
Wagner.
any discussion of that? Anyone has questions of staff and needs further discussion?
Uh,
Go ahead.
Jim, you said this is just cleaning up clerical so that everything is,
Correct. And we had, in this first time period that you just listed off, we had Officer Peterson retired within that time period, so it's to ensure the documentation is equal to that.
Any further questions? If not, entertain a motion to, when we have Keller and Research, right, we'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Olson.
Yes.
Trustee Fields. President Pro Tem Keller.
yes.
Trustee Reister. President Frisbee.
Yes. Both motions carry. So we have in front of us also South County Fire Authority Articles of Incorporation proposed amendment.
President Frisbee, I move to approve the defined benefit plan adoption agreement number 2. And this begins with the date of April 1st of 2023.
Trustee Wagner, I support.
Motion made by trustee Keller, support by trustee Wagner. We'll do a roll call, please.
Trustee Olson.
Yes.
Trustee Reister. Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Fields. President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Now we can move on to South County Articles of Incorporation. I swear you said both of them. Okay.
Jim, you want me to take this?
Yes.
Just to kind of jog everybody's memory, this goes back to basically changing the bylaws of the fire authority to, number one, allow a alternate to sit in for the appointed member, which actually came in handy last month because I had a work-related function that I could not get out of. As many times as I begged, my boss would not let me out of it. But also it reduced, because the wording in the bylaws stated that there were 7 members on the board, which there have not been 7 members on the board for a number of years, so they changed that to 6 members of the board. So that's the basis of this change in the Articles of Incorporation.
I know we made a discussion and a vote on it earlier, but we didn't vote on the changes they made, right?
This is the final. This is because we made it on the draft. So then it was basically given back to the authority, and now it's just, the entities just have to say yes to the final draft on it.
Trustee Wagner, I'll make that motion to approve as submit.
Trustee Fields, I support.
We have a motion by trustee Wagner, support by trustee Fields. We have any further discussion or questions of staff? Or hearing none, we'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Fields. Trustee Olson.
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Motion carries. So staff, you have, want to talk about an X-Mark 72-inch mower?
Yes, this will be to replace a 2006 or an 18-year-old mower with over 2,000 hours on it. The current, we have 3 X marks of varying years, but the oldest one is the 2006. Started to need some attention, and when we started listing out the different items, it really would not warrant that type of investment. So we did, this would be under a government purchasing program. It is through Steamsmith, so we've purchased multiple pieces of equipment before under the same program. It's a suggested retail price of $21,533. Under the government program is $15,611. The finance, or the cash, is identified out of the DPW equipment CIP fund. So we'll also have in second quarter a budget amendment that brings that money in, but it's money again that's put aside each year for purchases such as this. So we're recommending approval, and we get that unit on its way here. And if it's here before the end of the season, great, but we certainly would like it here by next year, the way timing is.
We have a motion in front of us. What is this council's desire?
President Frisbee, I move that we approve the purchase of a 72-inch Exmark mower for the price of $15,611 under the governmental contract price, and that the funds shall be debited from the CIP DPW Equipment Fund.
Trustee Wagner, I support.
Motion made by trustee Keller, support by trustee Wagner. We'll do a roll call, please, Kristen.
President Frisbee, I have a
We
quick
have any
question.
questions?
Quick question, Jim. Are the existing mower, is that going to be auctioned off or?
It'll be put up for a sealed bid, so, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
And that, I don't know the timing of it, because it'll be after we take delivery of the new unit.
Well, I know in that, Jim, you were very clear it was a CIP fund for the DPW, so thank you. I thought for a minute it was the golf course, but does the golf course, is it treated the same as we are?
Yeah, a
Right.
lot of that equipment was purchased out of a company in Ohio, because like we did get if you remember, a John Deere 50-horse tractor, but the golf course turf tires, Steamsmas didn't usually deal in that type of a tractor, so it was a vendor out of, I think, Cleveland, out of Ohio for sure, that that tractor has been delivered. We are still waiting on 2 greens mowers though, for the golf course. We're 18 months into those builds.
And I thought our pump deliveries were.
But it's still, all the equipment, if you're asking for the golf course that we buy, is purchased under governmental programs as well.
That's quite nice. Any further questions or comments? So we have a request we have a motion by Keller and seconded by Wagner. We'll do a roll call, please. Kristen?
Trustee Reister.
Yes.
Trustee Fields. President Pro Tem Keller.
Yes.
Trustee Olson.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
President Frisbee.
Yes. Motion carries. So Jim, the staff has created a donation policy. Hopefully everyone's had an opportunity to review that.
Yeah, we've, as the council's aware, been working, this has been a work in progress for, could be 12 or 18 months. It's a formal policy on donations. Couple highlighted points. Items that have been donated in the past or were existing prior to this date will still be in place, but this gives formal guidance as to a strategy if any of those items ever need maintenance or repair, and also provides clarity that the village, upon making it that it's beyond repair, would remove that donated piece that might fit. That's for existing. If the council takes staff recommendation and approves this policy, we have a formal procedure that an applicant would meet with the village manager and get have a discussion on the proposed donation. We would help that person with the application process. Ultimately, the application would be presented by staff to the council with staff's recommendation on it, but we will have formal benches, size of plaques, that's all covered within the policy and application. It also sets up within the donation, and we've really looked at the life cycle of some of these donations, and the cost and ongoing cost to the village would be factored in any monetary amounts of money would be put into a fund specifically designated to cover the repair or really the maintenance yearly cost to add something to a village asset, if you will, or village property. We do know in this conversation, because it has come up in the past, that staff is going to stand by a recommendation of the past that the downtown corridor, we would not be an area that we would be supporting. Of course, someone could request that in an application. Ultimately, it's up to the council, but it's not going to receive staff support with the amount of effort we've tried to put into our downtown in a cohesive look. We're really looking at the non-motorized trail system, especially when it comes to benches, because there is a need in that area, and the trail is used quite a bit. And plus, we added almost 2 miles or a little over a mile north of TU Avenue. So be happy to answer any questions, but we are recommending, it's pretty comprehensive policy. Catherine Kaufman was our lead attorney involved in it, and so it meets those expectations. But I'll be happy to answer any questions.
We'll do a,
President Frisbee, I make a motion to approve the Village of Vicksburg donation policy as submitted by staff.
Trustee Fields, I support.
motion by President Pro Tem Keller, support by Trustee Fields, and we'll open it up for discussion. Any questions or comments you wanted to?
Just a quick comment. I'd like to say I'm really happy to see that we've got this one across the finish line for that policy. I know we've had quite a few donation requests that we've kind of been waiting to have this formalized, so I'm glad to see that we can get those folks engaged and see if we can add to our community with it. So thank you, Jim and Catherine.
Anything further?
Wondering, I know that we have had, I know of 2 people who have applied and come to us about benches and so forth. So what will those people have to do now?
We'll get a hold of those people yet this week.
You will?
And provide an application, have that initial conversation.
Okay,
So,
okay, thank you very much.
Well, hearing no more discussion, we have a request by staff to approve and adopt a new donation policy. Motions are made by President Pro Tem Keller, supported by Trustee Fields. We'll do a roll call, please, Christian.
Trustee Reister?
Yes.
Trustee Olson?
Yes.
Trustee Fields? Trustee Wagner?
Yes.
President Pro Tem Keller?
Yes.
President Frisbee?
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. We do have it in here in our continued action items, a planning commission DDA board member.
just that there's an opening.
Yeah,
That's my
Oh, okay.
mistyping of a recommendation.
all right.
So
Well-
it's just to meet our obligation. It has been on the website, but we do have 1 position open.
Right, right. So we still do.
Yeah,
filled
well,
out-
we took Rick Manchester resigned after we had filled the last 3 spots. So now we have an additional opening.
And we do have one applicant, and we're going to open this up until our next meeting, and we'll make a decision and a recommendation then. But we have a couple interested parties, and we're trying to see what best suits the village functions. So.
Do we know what the term is going to be for the open position on the, it's going to be 3
3
years?
years.
Okay.
So please reach out to anyone you know that would like to get engaged with a community governmental body. And that moves us to Mr. Mallory's report.
Yes, I had a meeting with the Historic Society, and just to bring the council, these were all items in the 23-24 fiscal year budget presentation and approved. But we should see the installation of gutters on 3 separate buildings, as well as replacement of caboose windows and the painting of 2 buildings, and all scheduled to be completed by the Harvest Festival, which I think is September 24th. So just wanted to, that those investments are being made in the historic village. I also met with Rick Fisher. I'm going to have follow-up meetings with him. He's the owner of Fab Magic, and Vicksburg was selected to hold a fairly significant magic event in the summer of 2024. So we're looking at the event calendar and selecting the appropriate timing of that, so there'll be news to come, but plan on a pretty significant magic multi-day festival type in Vicksburg. Uh, Berg Days update, been averaging the last four close to 3,500 people. Still, it's wonderful to see. I had a conversation today with another municipality. So it's interesting the attention in a positive manner that it's getting. We have two more dates due, these are the rain makeup dates. This Wednesday, the Mechanical Bull makes its return, as well as a bounce house. So there'll be a couple different events for young kids. And of course, the cultural arts, and we'll be debuting. If you remember, we submitted to the MML Foundation for a grant opportunity that we received. So the art cart of the Berg, or the Berg art cart, will make its debut Wednesday. I think people will be fairly impressed how that came out, how they'll see that at future Vicksburg events involving cultural arts. Any questions?
Jim, I just got clarification. The world-renowned Lions Club B&B is the 25th, 26th, and 27th of July, just so it was confirmed.
Moving to the fourth Thursday. 30 years, it's been the third Thursday.
Actually, we moved it to the fourth weekend because they had Cowboy Up years ago down in Mendon that was causing a conflict. I remember that.
Years ago.
I will make sure that it is not impacting the world-renowned B&B at all.
On behalf of the Lions Club, I appreciate that.
All right. The real cool event is going to be this Thursday, August 24th, from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., where it's going to be the Senior Berg Day. So 55 and older, we're going to have a trio band, Lana Hoffman, who I think people are really going to enjoy her band. Live music will be down there. We will be a big, huge shout out to Frederick Construction, who is with Main Street Pub, going to provide some food. And we will have some of the street level games around as well for fellowship to take place with our 55 and older community. So this is our first one of these, and we've sent out 198 postcards through South County Community Services, as well as some social media attention, put posters up, had contact. There'll be 4 to 6 different agencies that provide services to the population that I think will, and our keynote speaker who will speak in between sets of the band, I think people will enjoy as well hearing from. So I'm looking forward to that this Thursday. I'd be remiss if I didn't have a nice shout out to our DPW, who's going to have a busy week. We'll be setting up for Berg Days Wednesday, taking down Wednesday night, coming in early Thursday to reset up at the Historic Village Pavilion for this event, and then of course taking that down. Shout out to that 4-person crew. But any questions on the Senior Berg?
No question, but I just wanted to let you know, I, excuse me, went to the Farm to Table on Saturday night and sat with some people who were actually talking about coming and asking me if I was going to go. So they're already talking about going to the Senior Day. So thought that was kind of nice.
Answered that?
Yes,
Yes.
I might be late, but yes.
The Village Hall, we're starting drywall this week. The roof was being finished today. Some of the drywall has started, but it's all the 90th percentile, all interior walls are up and it's starting to really take shape. Behind the scenes, Christian's working with Andy DeVries at ensuring all the equipment, proper runs. We're gonna go to a lot of wireless type equipment as well in the new building takes place. So have a meeting every Wednesday to go through, but I will start putting out to the council a look ahead in the next 2 weeks, what will be done. Then if any council member wants to set up an appointment to come through the building, we'd be happy to do that. But as of right now, we're 6 or 7 days behind the tabletop exercise of where we'd be, but we feel pretty good at how it's moving, so.
So if we wanted to do a walkthrough, we just call?
Yeah, just give me a call and I'll make sure that it's on a day that,
Yeah, that it would work?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
we had talked earlier this summer, looking at presenting on banners for downtown, and we are going to move that to the September council meeting and make that presentation next month, and hopefully be in a good position on where we're at with that.
Thanks, Jim. Any questions on anything above, beyond? Thank you, sir, for that update, all those updates. So I'll just touch real briefly on some committee reports, the tree reports. Mike has been in Europe, so I wasn't sure if you guys had a chance to.
Did meet just before they. We did meet just before they left, and so we are getting things prepared to do a presentation. So that should be coming down pretty soon, when he gets back from his vacation.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation?
On the tree note, just to bring the council's attention, I think it's behind the scenes right now, we're working on it for the third week in October. There's going to be some recommended ordinance text amendments. One of them involves, I think it's 438 is the ordinance involving trees. It currently reads like any project that any we do, maybe a utility does, that impacts, and I think it's drastic pruning or removing of trees, requires 2 public notices, which would be with the Gazette, which has a pretty substantial cost. And so we'll have that finalized, but we're gonna ask that be moved to like a social media posting and 1 public notice, which eliminates, I mean, it's $1,000 a time, and how many people actually read MLive
Seriously.
anymore versus who at least would be impacted here in the village. So hearing tree made me think, I had a conversation earlier today that's one of them we're looking at, to just not eliminate the ordinance, just readjust some of those requirements.
Thank you, Jim. Parks and Recreation. And by the way, awesome job with movies in the park. That is
Thanks.
phenomenal.
So this month we had the last 2 movies. We had a total of 3 this summer in the park. These last 2 were just beyond our dreams of what we had intended. And it would not have been possible without the amazing support that we received from the chamber, local businesses. The library was there, and everyone with handouts, the Rotary, the Cultural Arts Center. So all of those folks came together and came in and helped us fill that hour before the movie could start at dark, to keep the kids occupied and give them so many fun things to do. The last movie the other night was the biggest attended movie we've had to date. Word of mouth is definitely getting around. It was so wonderful. There were people that came out with their entire families, threw a blanket down and pulled out their Hungry Howie's pizzas and had pizza while they were waiting. It was just, people from all walks came, and you could just tell there was a round of applause at the end of the movie. So
Oh,
it was so neat to sit and do that. I talked to the gentleman that runs the movie. He also does Portage Parks and Recs movie. They reached out to him last Friday with their 2024 schedule. So our next Parks and Rec movie meeting is this coming Monday, and we'll definitely be looking at availability for next summer. I think we have some other ideas of things we'd like to add on to it, so we'll see how that goes. But it was the rec part of Parks and Rec that we've been looking to get, so it's good.
Sounds good.
Just want to make it public again. Awesome job doing that. Everyone, you know, and Alicia Sieber said it, you know, the community engagement is amazing in this
Yes, it is.
small town of ours, you know. So, but thank you for everything, your leadership with that, so thanks.
It's a group,
Yeah.
so I don't want to, Chad, Jenny, Cindy, Jessica, Bob, all of them. It's a great Parks and Rec team. They have some phenomenal ideas, and like I said, I'm looking forward to the ideas for 2024. More to come.
Thank you to the team, absolutely. It takes a team. So where are we at
Cats.
next? Cats. Cats and meetings have been canceled. The last 2 meetings were canceled, and there's one, he just said that with a bit of excitement, but there's one scheduled for next week.
The technical meeting took place last week. I attended, plus on Thursday at 10:30, attended a second meeting because it was looking at the geographical map and not to get down in the weeds, but the rural aspect of that federal type money is moving to a different agency oversight. And I don't, but even though the village has a sliver that would be considered rural, we successfully requested it all be together and stay under CATS, and they agreed. So if there's any communication, reference that. We'll be staying the same as right under the CATS umbrella, so.
So I didn't miss a meeting, did I?
No, there's
Okay.
2 meetings. There's the technical meeting, which I attend monthly, and the policy group. You attend the CATS policy
Right, okay.
group.
Can't be worried. The technical meeting. Yeah. Thank you for being on the technical side, Jim, and I'm sure everyone else appreciates it too. Planning Commission, and that would be our Rick. We had a meeting last, right?
Yes, we had the meeting. There was no action items. We swore in the 3 new members. We did let them know that in September there could be updates on the Apple Knockers property, potentially, just that, looking at expanded services. So that's kind of going on behind the scenes. There's a Spruce Street development that we've contacted the developer because it involves the sale of liquor, which it doesn't, and again, not to get too technical at this point, but that has a pretty substantial hurdle before it would ever move forward. That could be an appeal to the zoning board, so we updated them in those type of things. We also have the Municipal Building Authority meeting next week at 6 p.m. prior to the Parks and Rec.
When is that, Jim? Next
Which one? Next Monday at 6 p.m.
So I attended, and there is one tomorrow, another one, the South County Sewer. They discussed their agreement with Gull Lake Sewers, resulted in some pretty good cost savings and, on-time availability with their lift stations. The new infrastructure at Lake Pines, the infrastructure will be transferred to the South County Sewer Authority. Schoolcraft has not yet adopted their articles of revision as we did a couple of months ago. And that St. Joe wastewater treatment collaboration, stage one, came back costing substantially higher than what they anticipated. So Park, Lockport, Fabia supervisors are making a plead for some earmark funding. So that's the update on the sewer. I did go to one meeting before you, but if you just want to roll right into your last meeting on the fire authority,
Sure. We had for a change, a very abbreviated meeting last Wednesday. I was in my Berg Days of Summer shirt, so they knew that I was pulling double duty, so.
Very smart of you.
So we have shirts. So at any rate, the biggest thing was the Articles of Incorporation because Schoolcraft Village and Vicksburg hadn't met, and so the authority was kind of waiting on us to get back. I assured them that we would make sure we took care of that. Also, the lease, we're still dealing with that issue, which I spoke with Manager Mallory, and he said that it's still in the hands of the attorney right now to get back. So by the next meeting, we're trying to get that back to them by then, which shouldn't be that big of a problem. But other than that, we're going to be looking to do a finance meeting here probably in September because, as we had stated, they did lock the interest rate in for the new apparatus, the new truck, and we are going to look for better rates through governmental means. So that will be pursued, and we are going to be looking at making our first payment in October. They also, we're going to be looking to move $250,000 into Cedars. So they've taken advantage of that over the last 4 or 5 months. The audit, oh, by the way, the audit came back, which I thought I sent a copy to you. If I didn't, I will make sure I get that. There were no significant issues on the audit. So by the next meeting, we need to have that back so that everybody can look at it and then vote to approve the audit. So that's it.
thank you for that update. And Jim spoke about it early. Next Monday at 6 o'clock, we're having our second municipal building authority meeting. And Jared Belka is going to come and outline our roles and responsibilities. And I think that's it for committee reports. It's time for citizens' comments for anything that's on their mind. Now's the time to bring it to the table. So, seeing none and hearing none, we'll move on to trustees' time. So I'll start with Trustee Olson.
Prayers to the Holmes family over Rick's mother. I saw Rick Wednesday night downtown, and I stopped, talked to his wife first, and I talked to him, and we had a long discussion about his mom. So I feel like I got to know the woman much better. Tom Lowry, Mayor Three Rivers, one of my best friends, he was injured at his store last Thursday also. He tore ligaments in his leg on a nasty fall, tore muscles, and son of a gun was back to work today. So shows you how much of a workaholic he is. Gail on the tree committee, I got approached yesterday by a couple of people asking about trees, and I told them to reach out to you and talk to you about it. So hopefully they will.
Okay, thank you.
July 26th, I attended the Southwest Michigan First chamber meeting in Schoolcraft. You could not believe the praise that we heard about Vicksburg. The sidewalks, the infrastructure, the Berg Days, the Christmas parade, everything. They are very much impressed. The main comment I had is we need more communication between the entities. And the county commission, city commissions, everything, we need to listen to our citizens more. And I said, there are 2 projects right now that have been approved, and the citizens are against them. And we need to listen to them more, and we have to take a look at it, their point of view. And one of those projects has now been canceled. and that was up in the Winchell neighborhood, where they're gonna do the bike lanes, and the citizens said, no, we do not want that. The other one was the roundabout out here, which is still up in the air. So, but I did tour the Miracle baseball field out there, which my brother's a big contributor to that, and my whole family's getting involved in it now. But I driven by it for the last few years, and I've never been to it. And I was given a guided tour. Vicksburg Vintage Market was yesterday. It's the third one this year. We had a good constant crowd. 2 dealers said it was the best market sales they ever had. Our next one is September 17th. Finally, our president, Jimmy Carter, is in the final chapter of his hospice care, which means that his days are ending pretty quick here, and that was from his grandson. Growing up, I never really had a lot of respect for Jimmy Carter. He's the president, you respect the president, you respect the office. But then I learned something about Jimmy. He was more than just a peanut farmer and the president. He was in the United States Navy. On December 12, 1952, Jimmy Carter and 6 other sailors were lowered into a live active nuclear reactor in Canada. They were called in by the United States Navy and the government of Canada for assistance. And these guys went into a live nuclear reactor for no more than 90 seconds. And between the 7 of them, they were able to stop the reaction and turn a valve to flood the reactor and stop a nuclear meltdown. And to me, people like that deserve the Congressional Medal of Honor. And the thing is, I never knew this till I heard it on Paul Harvey one day. So how many more stories are out there? But prayers to Jimmy and his family. I know Rosalind's not doing very well either. She's got dementia. But I would be expecting the word any day of his passing. So thank you.
Trustee Wagner.
Thank you, President Frisbee. First item, the success of the Berg Days. So I've been approached by dozens of folks on and off the streets, in and out of the village of Vicksburg, about how much they enjoy coming down every Wednesday from areas like Plainwell and Paw Paw that are, quite a ways away, that they come down just for our events in the summer. So that was really, really cool to hear. And I echo, the shirts are fantastic. I was mistaken for a DPW guy at one point, and trash cans got to get emptied, so got to pitch in. Like Gail, I attended the Farm to Fork fundraiser put on by the Farmers Market on Saturday night with my wife, and it was a lovely event. It was a social, casual, I'll call it upscale dining opportunity to support the Farmers Market, and I was highly impressed with the quality of the presentation, the atmosphere of the event, and just all of the local individuals, restaurants, and folks participating to be involved in that. So again, as Alicia mentioned earlier, just a great way to see the volunteerism and the support we have in the community. It was a wonderful evening. The Village Hall is looking great. Had a chance to tour it, so really looking forward to that. It was last week. The bones are in. I mean, everything's really coming together, like Jim said, with drywall. It's going to look like a real building. It's happening. It's happening. And one other cool item is that currently, since we talked about trees a couple times, the Centennial neighborhood I'd mentioned before has got a landscape architect. We received the first draft back of the plan, and wouldn't you know, projected total cost being considered is $150,000 for a total overhaul, including thousands of grasses, deciduous trees, shrubs, and other plants. So something the neighborhood is considering to add all of that extra natural element to improve the quality of the neighborhood and the village. Nothing about if it's going to be approved or how it'll be phased in, anything like that, but something that's being considered. And I think a project of that scope is, it's really encouraging to see that we're entertaining. And that's it for me this evening.
Trustee Rickster.
I would like to thank Denny Olson, because when I was down for my little job for Berg Days, Rick couldn't attend with me, and so Denny happened by and was willing to stay for an hour with me, so I really appreciated that very much. Also, I'm on the library board now, and I just want to say that we have some very good new members on the library board. And it's been a very positive experience since I've been on. Quite a lot of new blood, and I think that Eric is enjoying having some new people there. And I think that we're making a difference. One of the things that I think is really exciting is that Susan, who is the new children's librarian, is absolutely a wonderful addition. She has been so positive in so many ways. And so I said to Eric, I said, you chose a really good one this time. And actually, she's a retired teacher. She doesn't have a library degree, but I'll tell you, she is so active in trying to do so many wonderful things in the community. I've just been very, very impressed with her. Easy to work with, a wonderful personality. So hats off to Suzanne. And the tree committee, we've been working on trying to make a presentation, and so that's going to be coming up very shortly. And I'm thinking now that maybe during my time, I should be saying some more things about the library, since I am on that library board. So I will be trying to do that every time. That's it.
Trustee Fields?
I was just thinking about, like, in just a little over a week span, we have 2 Berg Days. We had a movie night in the park. I was also at the Farm to Fork event. And now we've got a senior Berg Day. And you think about the ages of the people that are coming out for these events. We're covering, from the ones in the strollers to the ones with the canes. And that right there is why I live in Vicksburg. And it sounds corny, I've said it before, but I grew up here. I want to grow old here. And these are the kinds of things that make it such an incredible town. And I want to say thank you to the staff, the officers, the DPW. These guys are going so far above and beyond this summer. It's noticed. It is greatly appreciated.
What I like to say, Wendy, is only in a small town like ours can this all happen.
With a very big vision.
Thank you. President Pro Tem Keller?
I was forgotten this time. That's
I
awesome.
was looking at you just a whole.
I got a shirt. I was there. Couple of things. Number one, I want to pass on my condolences to Rick's family. He and I spoke last Wednesday night. He took a brief break from what was going on, and my parents passed when I was young, and so I was able to share a little bit with him. So I didn't realize it was going to come that quick, but my condolences do go out to them. Played Angels Crossing last Tuesday. First time I'd played that course in probably 20 years. We only got 9 holes in because it was supposed to not rain, and we got deluge for about 2 hours. However, I will say that I was extremely impressed with the course. First time I've been out there. I don't like the GPS with the carts, because where there was grass where I wanted to go, it said I was out of bounds and stopped, and so I had to back up, and so that was a little annoying. But other
You're
than
not
that,
supposed to hit your ball in that area.
that's another story. But I was very impressed with the course. So kudos to the management out there. I know the people that took, they definitely want to come out this fall and play, because they said it would be awesome to be out there. I did have one guy wanted to inquire about hunting out there, because we saw tracks through the traps that were monstrous. So he was impressed with that. Berg Days, yes, it's been awesome. I will tell you, I had lunch with the contractor that actually Ryan works for on Friday, and we kind of threw that out. And he's from New Jersey, And he said that he's been down here a couple times, frequenting our establishments, and found that everybody was just so friendly. But he was definitely gonna come down this Wednesday, to enjoy when I threw it out there about that, he went, "Oh yeah, we're coming down this next Wednesday and we're gonna hang out." And so news is getting around, so just so you know, and it's been a very fun turnout. Also the last thing I wanna comment on, the Lions golf outing is gonna be September 9th. It states, it's one of the fundraisers for the club. So if anybody's interested, I'm only saying it now because we won't have a meeting, I think, until after we have the outing, but I just want to make sure everybody was aware that the Lions are having their golf outing on September 9th at States, so 2 o'clock.
Thank you so much. And so, Mr. Mallory, you got?
Yeah, I had forgotten one item and under the same vein, because we're not meeting again till, I think, the 18th of September or something. Within the fiscal budget presentation, both through the DDA and council, was streetscape improvement with the purchase of large screen TVs to bring people downtown in the bump outs. And you'll see on social media, but we've received the TVs with the stands and that program. So we're looking at the debut of those TVs being out for the first game of the NFL season on September 7th. It's a Thursday night. So people can come to downtown Vicksburg and know that game will be out on the streetscapes in Vicksburg to watch and partake in. So you'll see those going up as well.
Thank you, Jim. Well, I'll just wrap it up real quick. I know we've all been saying it, how successful it's been, but it's only based on the people that we have. And we are very blessed to have such a great group of people on this board, the staff, DPW, and our police department, right? So thank you to all of them. And I want to make a special thanks to Mr. Chris Newman, who's served, since the 90s, late 90s, on the Planning Commission and DDA. So, Chris, thank you for all your time and effort you've put into this community. And Mr. Rick Manchester has resigned from the Planning Commission. He's been on over 10 years as well, and a great attribute to that group. So, Rick and Chris, thank you so much for all your time and effort you've put for this community. So, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn tonight.
So moved.
So moved. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.